What's up? What's up, people? What's up? Almost a year ago, I made a two-part video series called A Jamaican Immigrant Created Hip Hop. Deal with it. And in the two-part video series, I stated the obvious truth about DJ Kool Herc, who is a Jamaican immigrant, being the primary creator of the music genre that we now refer to as hip hop music, right? This is the obvious truth. And I said that because around the time when I made that video, it was something going on around the internet, right? Where hip hop icons such as Busta Rhymes and DJ Pete Rock, who are both of Jamaican descent, stated that hip hop came from Jamaica. So then that made the ADOS and FBA online communities upset. So then they turn around and started responding, stating how hip hop did not come from Jamaica, which is correct. Hip hop did not come from Jamaica, it came from the United States of America. But then the ADOS and FBA communities totally deny um, the fact that the primary creator of the music genre came from the Caribbean. So that made me respond. And then I stated that, yes, DJ Pete Rock and Busta Rhymes were both incorrect when they stated that hip hop music came from Jamaica. No, no. Hip hop music is just as American as baseball and apple pie. But the fact of the matter is, a person who was an immigrant from the island of Jamaica was the primary inventor of that music genre. And when I stated that, that made a lot of people go nuts and started responding, making a bunch of inaccurate comments within that video, right? Now, one of the, I'm going to respond to some of the comments or just some of the things that they've said. Like, yeah, Heavy D's, yes, Heavy D's of Jamaican descent. Yeah, a lot of hip hop icons are of Caribbean descent, because see, one main reason is that a lot of the hip hop artists, especially a lot of old school hip hop artists who are from New York, are from New York, right? And if anybody know anything about New York City, it's that we have the largest or one of the largest black immigrant populations in America. I think New York City has the largest or maybe the second largest. Maybe I think maybe okay, if New York City do not have the largest black immigrant population, possibly Miami have the largest black immigrant population. But I know that New York City have one of the largest black immigrant population among all metropolitan cities in America. Therefore, if you meet a so-called black person from New York, there's a high chance that this person can be of Caribbean descent. And these are the same people who had a big influence in hip hop music, in the creation and the evolution of hip hop music. Now, I'm not taking away the contributions of black Americans because black Americans had a heavy influence in the evolution and also the creation of hip hop also. But the fact of the matter is, the primary creator of the music genre that we now refer to as hip hop was created by a Jamaican immigrant by the name of DJ Kool Herc. Okay, but then, some of the people, a lot of people, in my first two videos that I made about this topic, responded by stating how Kool Herc admitted that he did not create the music genre. And when I would ask them to provide the source where he admitted that he did not create the music genre, they failed to do so. They was not able to give me a source. As a matter of fact, I was able to provide sources where DJ Kool Herc proclaimed that he created the genre. Like there's no source, like there are no credible sources. There are no credible documentation where you could provide where DJ Kool Herc have denied being the primary creator of the music genre known as hip hop music. Now, of course, there are other people who are alleging that he did not create the music genre, right? But to say that he did not do it, but to make the statement that he denied, that he himself have denied creating the genre is not true. And then one person on one of my videos who I realize have terrible comprehension skills, he made an attempt to try to make it seem as if Kool Herc denied being the creator of the genre. And all he have done is provide documentation where Kool Herc admitted that he used a lot of James Brown's music when it came to him creating hip hop parties and hip hop festivals around the South Bronx, which is fucking obvious history. That does not stating that Kool Herc used a lot of James Brown's music or sampled a lot of James Brown's music in order to create some of the early hip hop music does not disprove the fact that Kool Herc created a totally unique genre of music that we now refer to as hip hop. It's not shaking the table, it's just telling it like it is. It's just telling it like it is. That's all. And then you have other people that who made comments such as, well, well, Jamaicans or people of Caribbean descent didn't create hip hop because hip hop derived from jazz music. I'm only paraphrasing what some of these people stated on my prior video, which are in which the logic in itself is very inaccurate. You have, like I said before, like I just said, there were other people who argued how it's impossible for people of Caribbean descent to contribute in the creation of hip hop music because hip hop music derived from jazz music, and jazz music was created by Black Americans, which is partially true. Because yes, what inspired the creation of hip hop music was jazz, rock music, and jazz, rock music, and which other genre of music that I'm thinking about? Jazz and disco, right? Okay, so yes, hip hop music partially derived from jazz music. But if you're going to use the logic stating that people of Caribbean descent was not involved in the creation of hip hop music because hip hop music derived from jazz and jazz was created by Black Americans, well, guess what? Jazz music derived from, guess what? From European classical music. And also, if you study the history of jazz music, it also derived from music out of West Africa. And also, jazz also derived from music from Cuba. So if you're going to say that Caribbeans did not create hip hop because hip hop derived from jazz music and jazz music was created by Black Americans, then likewise, with the same logic, you might as well say that Black Americans did not create jazz music because jazz music derived from European classical music. So you might as well say white people made jazz music with that logic. Come on now. Yeah, AM1, you're correct. Disco, rock, funk, and jazz. I mean, Like, these people who made these ignorant comments, they don't realize that almost every genre of music was inspired by a previous genre of music. Almost all genres of music was inspired by a previous genre of music. But that does not mean that each genre of music had something unique about it that separated it from prior genres, thus making it its own genre. And that's the case with hip hop music. And that's the case with jazz music. Although jazz music was inspired by previous genres of music, it doesn't take away from the fact that there was something unique about jazz that separated it from all the other genres to make it its own genre. Thus, the original creators of jazz music. Thus, it doesn't take away from the fact that the original creators of jazz music were Black Americans, right? The same goes with hip hop. Yes, hip hop music, like all other genres of music, derived from or was inspired by previous genres of music. But still there was something unique about the genre that made it its own genre, that made it become its own genre of music. Thus, it doesn't take away from the fact that the original creators of that specific genre was from was from a Jamaican, originally from Kool Herc. Come on now. See, the thing is, right? This is the thing where a lot of people within the ADOS and FBA movements. This is the problem, right? A lot of people within and this is no knock to Black Americans, to those who are of Black American descent. See, I'm not one of these idiots that is going to say something derogatory about other groups of Black people. I don't do that shit. I consider all so-called Black people, well, those who are the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, which includes so-called Black Americans, are my people. All right. So I'm not here to have this tribalism war. I'm here to state facts. But the thing is with the ADOS and FBA movement is that they take pride. A lot of them, when you just look at what they say, a lot of people within that movement have this thing where they want to make Black Americans seem as the most superior groups of Black people across the world. And one of the ways they try to defend that argument is by saying that they've influenced the culture of everybody within this generation all across the world. And the main culture that have influenced the whole world, especially the whole world within this generation, is hip hop. Because hip hop is the culture of the people of the world for the past maybe 20 to 30 years, right? So people within the ADOS and FBA movement like to utilize that in order to have this air of superiority above all other Blacks. So they have to make it seem as if hip hop was created by so-called Black Americans in order to keep the narrative of Black Americans being the most prominent groups of so-called Black people amongst all Black people in the world. Therefore, they have to deny that the creator of this culture came from a group of people outside of so-called Black Americans. So then they have to come out with these arguments stating that, well, hip hop existed ever since the 1940s and 1930s, which are other statements, which are other inaccurate statements that people made in my prior video about this topic, right? See, because what happened is you have video clips of, I guess, jazz musicians who, when they sang whichever song that they sang, the delivery sounded similar to hip hop. Thus, these people who want to keep up with that Black Americans made hip hop narrative use that to say, well, Black Americans have been rapping ever since the 1940s. See, the thing is, what people don't understand is that something may sound similar doesn't make it what it is. you know, something may sound similar to hip hop. That doesn't mean it's hip hop. Dude, you have, dude, you son, you have Caucasians, Caucasian rock stars, right? Or Caucasian rock and roll musicians who made songs in which their delivery sounded similar to them rapping. Are you going to say that they're the creators of hip hop or that they're hip hop? Come on now. Come on. But once again, the FBA and ADOS movement have to keep up with this narrative of so-called Black Americans being the most superior groups of so-called Black people across the world by stating that the whole world follow their culture. And most Black Americans today consider their culture to be hip hop culture. They consider hip hop culture to be their culture, which it is for the most part. A lot of us grew up on hip hop, right? So they have to say that the culture that they consider to be theirs, that has an influence amongst all people across the world, was created by them. They have to deny the influence of Kool Herc, because to say that a Jamaican immigrant was for them to admit that a Jamaican immigrant was the primary creator of the culture that they now consider to be theirs would destroy the narrative of them claiming supremacy amongst all so-called Black people. So therefore, they have to rewrite history to say that Kool Herc did not create anything. They have to say that. And this is what happens when you have to keep the lie alive. You have to keep the lie alive in order to claim this sense of supremacy amongst all people. And you know what this mindset, what this supremacy mindset remind me of? It reminds me of racist Caucasians. How they have to deny the contributions of other groups of people and claim that they created the pyramids, that they created this and that, just to keep this false sense of superiority over amongst all people. Because of course, that's how racist Caucasians think. Racist Caucasians believe that their race is more superior than any other groups of people in the world. Therefore, they have to take credit for creating almost everything, right? They have to take credit for being God's chosen people, right? When we all know the color of, if you, for those who do their history, we all know the true color and the true racial identity of the true children of God, right? But no. Caucasians, or racist Caucasians, that is, have to deny that in order to keep this false sense of white supremacy alive and well, right? By saying that the chosen people are the same, are this, by saying that, they are the chosen people, by saying Jesus Caucasian, by saying that the Egyptians were Caucasians, thus proclaiming that the Caucasians built the pyramids. you know And this is almost the same mindset that a lot of people within the ADOS and FBA movements have adopted. They've adopted that same biased superiority mindset. I'm not saying Black Americans. I'm saying those within the FBA and ADOS movement. When the truth of the matter is, in hip hop music, multiple groups of people made large contributions when it came to the creation and evolution of hip hop culture. Yes, of course, Black Americans played a very pivotal role when it came to the creation and evolution of hip hop music, alongside those of Caribbean descent who contributed into the who contributed in the creation and evolution of the music genre and culture that we now consider to be hip hop, right? Likewise, when it comes to people of Latino descent, people of Latino descent also played a contributing role in the creation and evolution of the music genre that we now consider to be hip hop. Because of course, hip hop came from where? What's going on, China White? What's up? AM1, what's up? Tell Toya, what's up? Because of course, hip hop came from uh the Bronx section of New York City, right? The borough that we consider to be the Bronx. And the Bronx, especially the South Bronx, the birthplace of hip hop, is the home to these many different groups of people. Latinos, Caribbeans, and Black Americans living amongst each other. And utilize a genre, came together, utilize a genre of music and a culture to keep themselves away from gang activity. When you really do some deep research when it comes to the creation of hip hop, that's really what it was created for. To find a way to bring people in the South Bronx together in order to try to minimize the gang violence that was going on back then during the 1970s in New York City. And the fact of the matter is, the primary creator of that music genre was a Jamaican immigrant, is a Jamaican immigrant. Because, DJ Kool Herc is still alive. I can't say was as if he is not alive anymore. You know, that's just the fact. The thing is now, you have a lot of people within the FBA/ADOS movement who want to argue that the true creator of hip hop music was a DJ by the name of DJ Disco King Mario, right? And the thing is that the thing is with that narrative is that there's not enough documentation to prove that DJ Disco King Mario is the actual true primary creator of hip hop music. But it is a claim that a lot of people from a gang called the Black Spades proclaim. Because during the 1970s in the Bronx, there was a big gang called the Black Spades. That's the gang that Africa Bambaataa was a member of before he started a group called the Zulu Nation, right? And DJ Disco King Mario was alleged to be a member of that gang too. So it's like, so you have the old, the elder members who were still alive, who were members of the Black Spades, who are the main ones stating that, oh no, we was the one that created hip hop music, because our man DJ Disco King Mario, he was the one that created the first hip hop park jams and what have you. And the thing is that you have the ADOS and FBA movements siding with the Black Spades and stating that DJ Disco King Mario is the creator of hip hop. But the only reason why the FBA and ADOS movement are agreeing with the Black Spades gang in making that statement They doing that for only one reason, because DJ Disco King Mario was a black American. Rest in peace to him. He passed away, I think, in 1994. Right? That's the only reason why the ADOS and FBA movement are agreeing with the Black Spades gang when it comes to the theory of DJ Disco King Mario creating the genre known as hip hop. Only because DJ Disco King Mario is a black American who's originally born in North Carolina and then later on moved to New York City when he was a child. That's it. That's it. Like, there's no real documentation to actually prove that DJ Disco King Mario was the true creator of the genre. But there's tons of there's tons of documentation to prove that Kool Herc was the original creator of the hip hop genre known as, of the music genre known as hip hop. You know, it's like what you see on the internet right now. Like I said last year when I made a video on the very same topic, I stated how this whole thing, this whole allegation of DJ Kool Herc not being the primary creator of hip hop music is just as similar as people alleging that the earth is flat. You know, it's like you got people creating theories out their asses and shit. And instead of utilizing actual credible documentation to prove this to be true, motherfuckers just want to pull out YouTube videos and trying to claim this shit. Come on, man. Come on. And then when I made a video about this topic last year, someone made a comment accusing me of being a racist. It's like, what have I said that was racist? Because this topic is not about race. It's really about which ethnic group of people contributed in being the primary creator of the music genre that we now call hip hop. So this is not a racial thing. And also in that video, well, in the two-part video series that I made last year about this topic, people assume that I'm of Jamaican descent by making statements such as, well, y'all didn't create anything. Y'all didn't create this. Y'all didn't create that. I'm like, they use y'all in the context as if I'm Jamaican, when even in that video, I said I am not of Jamaican descent. And I stated that on purpose because I knew that people will be stupid enough to assume that I am, just because I stated that a Jamaican immigrant was the primary creator of hip hop music. So I let it be known that I'm not of Jamaican descent. But even then, the people who made these ignorant and inaccurate comments did not comprehend that and assume that and still assume that I am. By making statements such as, y'all didn't create anything. Y'all didn't do this. Y'all didn't do that. I'm like, what you mean by y'all? I said in the video that I'm not of Jamaican descent, and I don't have to be. Like, I don't have to be of Jamaican descent in order to actually state actual facts. Like, I don't have to be, or no one have to be of so-called Black American descent to say that Black Americans were the original creators of jazz music and blues, right? You know, nobody have to be of Dominican descent to say that Dominicans are the original creators of the music genre that we now know as reggaeton, right? It's just a fact. So I don't know, man. I don't know. The thing is with so-called black people, man, it's like you just have a lot of ignorance and a lot of people of who possess bad comprehension skills, man. I don't know. It's something else. But you have to keep the lie alive. People on the internet always have to keep a lie alive in order for them to make them feel superior. They always have to promote a lie and try their best to keep the lie alive. Keep the lie alive. Keep the lie alive. That's what they have to do. It's sick when you think about it. But anyhow, yo, that's all I have to say. I am not. I'm not doubling down. I'm tripling down on my stance when I say that a Jamaican immigrant created hip hop. Deal with it. Oh, okay. Dominicans did not create reggaeton. It was Panamanians. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. If that's the case, then I can accept that I'm wrong when it comes to this. All right. If there is proof that Dominicans did not, oh, okay. You said Panama and Cuba. Oh, okay. You know what? If I'm incorrect, if there is proof that reggaeton originally created in Panama and Cuba, then I can accept that. I can accept correction. All right. I can accept that. I always thought it was, yeah, Jamaican influence in both countries. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But if okay, so if I'm wrong about where reggaeton came from, I can accept that. I can accept that. You know, see, unlike some people on the internet, I don't have enough pride. Excuse me, I don't have that level of pride to not accept correction. Hell, even the Bible says that a wise man loveth correction. A wise person, an intelligent person, will always appreciate and accept being corrected. But what did China White said? China White said, "I've noticed people on the internet have a mental disorder. They don't use logic, facts. They just say anything to fight. I'm over it." Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a severe, there is a tremendous amount of people on the internet who are insane, literally insane, who are mentally ill, immature, and too prideful to admit when they're wrong. Yes, there's a lot of people who don't use logic. They don't utilize rationale. They don't rely on facts in order to support their argument. A lot of people just are so desperate to be right or feel as if they're correct that they will fight you tooth and nail, even when you point to the fact saying, well, this fact says this, that fact says that, this fact says this. Oh, and here's another fact. Here's another documentation to prove this. Here's another. It doesn't matter how much evidence you show people. People will still try to argue with you up and down and try to, because they don't want to feel as if they're wrong. And to me, that's dumb. That's dumb. I don't see that's still dumb. Okay. That's true. That's true. I agree. I agree. Kool Herc, although he's a Jamaican immigrant, but he was influenced by American culture. That is absolutely true. I never denied that. Yeah, R- reggae came from jazz and R&B and stuff like that. That is true. For all genres of music was influenced by prior genres. That's what I stated in the beginning of this video. That's true. That's true. But the thing is that once again, to deny the fact that a Jamaican immigrant was the primary creator of hip hop music is to deny a fact. All right. China White says this. China White says, I've been to 5 different sectors and they're all the same, including the manosphere. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Full of mentally ill people who are, for the most part, irresponsible, unaccountable, immature, lack integrity, retarded as fuck. who argue don't want to be wrong even when they're wrong. But it was yeah, I have to end this video, all right? So like I said, I'm tripling down on my argument stating that a Jamaican immigrant created hip hop. Get over it.